Okay, I think it's finally working. All right, so hello YouTube. My name is Sean, and this might be a bad time to be starting this because I have a cold, and that's a text message. Anyways, so I am a second-year law student in my second semester of my second year, actually. And when I first started, I began writing a blog with the intentions of having it be something that other people could look at if they were thinking of applying to law school or if they were going through it also, just to, I don't know, relate to somebody. And then as a secondary thing for myself to remember what I'm going through. So that blog didn't last very long because it's just really difficult to find time to write. And I think I'm more of a verbal person anyways. And then also just all the time that I spend writing for school, the last thing I really want to do at the end of the day is write for anything else, which is kind of sad because I used to write as a hobby, but that's a different story. So anyways, what I really want this to be about is just some advice for others going through it or thinking of going through it, and to get some feedback from other people as well. Since I am a little bit over halfway done now, I am getting to that point where I need to seriously think about finding a job for post-law school. And it's really stressful, but it's a process that I want to document because I think it'll be really interesting and possibly beneficial to other people. So that's what this is all about. And I'm going to try and update once a week, just to basically talk about what I've been doing for the past week, whether it be like tips and tricks or just to vent. And that is it. So hopefully this will help somebody else, and if nothing else, it'll be, I don't know, something for my own memories. So yeah, I am going to stop right now for a second so I can drink this tea, and then afterwards I am going to talk about what I did in this past week. Okay, so I first wanted to apologize about the lighting. It's not super bright in here, but my apartment kind of has bad lighting, and the only time of the day when I usually have some extra time is going to be nighttime, so get used to it if you're going to watch my videos. Right, so what I wanted to talk about was networking, which is such like a taboo phrase, I feel like. Just silly because it's, I don't know, I feel like networking makes the world go round, and people put this bad connotation on it, as if like you're using someone or something, I don't know. My classmates always seem to cringe at that word. But really, I think it's like a mutual thing. Like you're meeting people, which is natural, but you know that you can help each other out in certain ways. So this is my little like anecdotal story about it. I was really nervous to network with people at first because I thought that I was bothering them. And I talked to this one guy about it. I was just honest with him. I was like, I'm really enjoying talking to you, but there's part of me that feels like I'm getting something from it and you aren't. And you know, maybe that's where this bad connotation comes from with networking. And he said something to me which made me feel better, which was that people like me, students or, you know, other people who are seeking his advice, are like little reminders of why he got into it to begin with. And just, I don't know, it just made him feel like enthusiastic about it again because I'm so enthusiastic about it. So, I don't know, that's just one way to look at it, I think. And it's just, it can be great if you just make it a casual conversation with someone, you know, don't put pressure on the other person like, oh my god, you have to hire me, because then that's when it's going to be awkward. Okay, so speaking of that, wanting to get hired, most law schools have a really good alumni center because alumni can bring like a lot of really great things to the university, most importantly money, but also just support. So my school specifically does this thing where you can search for alumni based on like what kind of law they might be practicing, and it's really helpful because it was a way for me to find a lot of people that are working in the entertainment law field, which is what I want to do, by the way. So I did that, and I sifted through it and found people working in the music industry, and I created like an Excel spreadsheet, which I call my networking tracker. I know, I'm very type A. But basically, I just put people's names and information in there, people that I've met or that I want to meet, and then other information I've learned about them. I mean, it can be as little as like, they say their kid's name in passing. I know it sounds like weird, but you're going to want to know that because it can be impressive if later you're like, oh, so how's Johnny doing or whatever. And then also on there, I put the date of our last contact and what I need to do to follow up. And this can vary, sometimes it can just be like a thank you letter, or it can be like they suggested that you read a certain thing. And then, so you follow up after you've read it and, tell them that you're grateful or tell them what you've learned or whatever, and it can be really impressive and they're going to remember you. And that's what matters because getting on people's radars is really all it's about. So that if they hear about something, some opportunity in a few weeks or a few months or even a few years, like when you already have another job but you're not happy or whatever, like they're going to think of you and they're going to be like, I should maybe tell Sean about that opportunity. And so that's kind of what I'm hoping for right now, because I have like a lot of feelers out and I've networked a lot lately. And in a way it can be discouraging because you have these really great conversations with these people and then, they don't immediately call you back the next week to like offer you a job. But that's, I don't know, I guess that's just not how it works, at least not in this job market, unfortunately. So I'm doing the best I can with that. So that's my little piece of advice this week about networking, is to really keep on top of the information that you have collected. And in this day and age with like technology and stuff, it's like a virtual Rolodex, like of people's information and how you've interacted with them so far. Because I feel like it would be embarrassing if I didn't have that information and I didn't like remember those little things and I had to ask them again, and then they might be like, didn't we already talk about this? I don't know. Those little details can help a lot. And speaking of that, I just finished another sort of little networking project, which was that I was really interested in getting to know this guy who is a guest lecturer at my school. And I'm really interested because he has his own small entertainment law firm here in the city. And I had heard at an entertainment law panel that I went to that he was hiring for a summer position. And he was an interesting person to know anyways, but even more interesting since he has a job offer. Paid, by the way. Oh my god, that's the best part. So I wanted to find a way to get to know him better, I mean, me and everyone else who wants in this business. But he's teaching this entertainment law class on campus, and I couldn't get in because it filled up too fast with 3Ls. And but when I had this phone conversation with him before school started this semester, he suggested that I just come and audit during the musical parts of the class because they're not all on music. And so I've been doing that for the past 3 weeks and learning a lot anyways. Like, it was great, even if I'm not trying to get a job. So I've been doing that, and now I'm going to email him as a follow-up to find out more about the internship. But just as a side note, I think it's better to do that sort of a thing in person. However, when we were getting out of class yesterday, he was complaining about having a headache, and I thought it would be like a really bad time to ask him something when he was already in a bad mood, So, excuse me. I was just like, I'll just email him, it'll be fine. So I'm going to do that probably on Monday morning. That leads me to another tip that I learned, which is that you don't want to email someone like someone in a 9 to 5 type of job, at least. You don't want to email them late on Friday or anytime during the weekend. Your best bet is like early on Monday, because then you'll show up like higher on their emails, if that makes sense. Seems like totally obvious, but not a lot of people think about that because most of us have our free time on the weekend, so we think let's just send an email then. But you might get like stuck in between like all these other emails, and I think you're more likely to get ignored. So that's what's going on with me right now. I'm pursuing those avenues, and next week I'm probably just going to be sending out some applications. So my video will probably be on like cover letters and resume snafus that I have run into, and that I can maybe help you avoid. So that's it for tonight, and thank you for listening. Hopefully it helped.